Welcome, everybody, to the Wednesday night build stream. Today we're going to be building in style, with style. I love how my red tie matches the mic right there perfectly. But I'm not going to ditch the hat. The hat's staying on. We've got quite the build to do tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and switch the view, and we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight we're going to be building a pretty awesome MSI themed custom build. Our buddy came to us and said, hey, I'm looking for this, this, and this. And we got the one thing, but he got all the others. So he did go out and pick out most of his parts and brought them here for us to assemble. So I thought I should assemble it in style. Should have thought of this sooner. Cool thing to do. So let's see. I'm going to take the suit jacket off though. Because who wears a suit jacket while they're building? Alright, so tonight we're building with a Intel i9-13900K. This thing's a beast of a processor. If you haven't already looked up the specs or heard me talk about in other streams, there's quite a few. It's a beast. We're also pairing that with an RTX 4090. This is the MSI Suprim Liquid X. So it's got the liquid cooler already built into it. Single fan. We are going to be vertically mounting this bad boy in the case that we have selected. We also have the motherboard that we selected, which is the MEG Z790 Ace. So it's got some gold accent to it, but it is one of the higher end MSI boards you can actually get right now. Above that, I think there's really only just the Godlike. So there's only one more board above that. We're going to be slapping in here two 980 Pros. These are the storage that we have selected here. These are 2 terabytes each, Gen 4s. Super fast read-write speeds, I think 7,000 megabits per second. And then we have 96 gigabytes of DDR5, 5600 megahertz. Now the reason why it's 96 gigabytes is to kind of work around the problems that DDR5 have. So this is a two-stick set, and it helps resolve some of the problems. So that's why it's 96 gigs instead of, say, 128 gigs. But manufacturers are actually producing a kit to work around the issues. So that doesn't tell you anything about DDR5. I don't know what will. Next, we have the cooler that's going to be cooling the CPU. This is the Core Liquid S360 by MSI, and this is another MEG product. So you can see there's an MEG theme here in the build, as well as the power supply, which is MEG. That's the AI1300P PCIe 5.0 compatible, or PCIe 5. So it's got the newer connection for the graphics card already, the 16-pin already built into the power supply, which is cool. So it's ATX 3.0 and PCIe 5.0 ready. So it's a updated power supply, which is what I've been trying to target for most of our more recent builds, because I don't like building with some of the older stuff when we have newer components out. So out with the old, in with the new. We do have a Thermal Grizzly contact frame. Our man who picked out all these parts also grabbed the contact frame and some thermal paste, which is also Thermal Grizzly. So we're going to be assembling this probably pretty quick. I'd say it's a 1.5–2 hour build at least. The case it's going into, which is actually behind me down here. This is the MEG Prospect 700R. If you're not familiar with MSI's case lineup, this is pretty much their flagship case. It has a screen built into it, so it's really cool. It is a little difficult sometimes when you first set up the case with the MSI Center, the MSI software. and getting that working, because you have to go through this update pattern, and it's like, I call it like an update dance. You have to basically go back and forth and do an update with the MSI center, then do an update, a firmware upgrade with the screen that's built in, then you have to do an update for the MSI center, and then somehow it all starts working. So it is a little bit of a pain, just a heads up with the MSI center. But once you get past that, everything works great, and it's even touchscreen, which is even crazier. So crazy. I need to get myself a green tie. I think that would be cool, like a Empower green. Throwing it out there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Throw this cooler, power supply, and this graphics card all over here because we don't need that. I'm gonna move the dog, who apparently wants to be up my butt right now. And we're gonna get started by popping this motherboard open. Getting the motherboard out. And slap the CPU on there and get that contact frame going. How was everybody's evening? I feel like I need to speak more sophisticated. How was your evening? Yeah. There we go. Pretty painless. Off to the contact plate. Actually give you new screws and an extra driver to probably get the old. They resized them. That seems kind of silly. Thermalright spent less money by not making their own screws. Not having to provide a second drive. Or so this is the kit that you want to be very particular about putting this together and overtaking. You don't really want to overtake these. This kit's more of a pain in the ass. Gonna drop a screw hole. Scaling mid. I'm going to take the stock screws out, put them in this bag, and then they're going to be there for you if you ever need them. But there's a very particular way of doing this. Gamers Nexus really covers this well. They go through kind of the installation of the thermal right and the thermal grizzly version of the contact plate. They kind of cover both of them very well with a demonstration of how you should install it. Really, it's just a matter of going counterclockwise throughout. Waiting. Oh. Oh. Nice. Well, that doesn't normally happen. I didn't move forward, at least I think I did. So why are we not getting any type of bite? I gotta learn to back up. Definitely, because the back plate black. With my background. Gonna try to get that one. That's the whole back door. Hey, I got swords. What's up, man? Thanks for the resub. Doing a thermal grizzly contact plate, and we haven't done very many of those. There we go. Sorry I haven't been around. It's been crazy lately. Hey, no worries, man. Not holding anybody to it. Do you like the new style? This is the new I don't know, wardrobe. Not using my suit, so might as well use it. Or suits. Alright, so we've got our CPU installed, our contact plate installed. We're going to go ahead and install our 96 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance RGB DDR5 RAM. Oh, I should be held to it. I'm a mod. Yeah. We're pretty relaxed around here. But if you are modding, you're going to have to start dressing up in a suit. New office requirement. I'm just kidding. Getting on that trend. No. Kind of always wanted to... The suit looks good, man. Thanks. I need a green tie. I don't know where to find like a super vibrant tie that's green. You don't own one, actually. Well, we'll have to fix that. Need to be in some more weddings. That'll force you to get a suit. It's actually happened to me a few times now. Got a few different suits. You know, you'd think by now, after a few weddings, that you'd get a few of them that did the same colors. But I'm wrong. Pretty much every wedding has a different color scheme going. So it's a different suit. Or a different everything. Even the shoes. They even get me with it. Like, yep, it has to be brown shoes. And I'm like, ah, well, that sucks. I don't own a pair of brown shoes. Amazon. That's actually what this suit is an Amazon suit. You just have to size yourself. I highly recommend getting a tape for sizing the body. It's like just a super soft tape. Is that the MEG? Yes, this is the MEG Ace by MSI. I know the lighting, for some reason, still sucks. But that's because there's a lot of reflection on this thing. A very nice motherboard. Yes. What build is this? This is a all MSI build. So MSI motherboard, MSI cooler, MSI power supply, MSI case, MSI graphics card, you name it, it's MSI. The only thing that is not is literally the storage, the CPU, and the RAM. So I guess I'm going red tie for the MSI theme, the red MSI. I don't know. Although their colors are kind of changing now. I don't know. Like, just Lucky the Dragon, though, he's red. Also, don't know why my camera does this, like, focus dance. It's like, derp, 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 derp. I think it's because of the lighting. It's like trying to focus. Then I also, if you haven't noticed, this little weird reflection. I don't know what that is, but it's on the lens. It only happens when I'm zoomed into a certain position. Apparently everyone is dropping Asus now. I don't know what to say about that other than Asus dug its own grave by not providing clarification on that quick enough. They should have responded on that shit like instantly. They should have been like, hold your horses, this is actually what we mean, even though this is what's there. And then they should have fixed it immediately. Instead, they waited like a week and a half and allowed the mainstream public media to really just chew them out. It was the dumbest thing they could do, is wait on that. That should have been a P1. We need a meeting now. We need to discuss what we're going to do next, and it has to be applied tomorrow. Especially if they care about their brand and the representation of the brand. I mean, that should have been a priority, fixing that. All right, so moving on to storage. Now, I do want to check the PCIe 4.0 M.2 slots, because there are on some Z790 boards, if you plug it into one of them, it'll actually force the PCIe 16 slot for the graphics card into PCIe 8, and we don't want to do that. So another thing you need to be aware of, and I'm not sure where it is on this board. I'm pretty sure it's the top M.2 slot here, but it could be one of the middle ones as well. So I'm going to double check that really quick. Really bad dudes to upset, yes. All the big ones, Linus, Gamers Nexus, Jay's 2 Cents, and some of the other smaller tech media really just reamed them a new one. Owner's manual time. I'm actually, so owner's manual is now a QR code most of the time. I guarantee, I guess maybe if, since it's a fancier board, it might be in here. But most boards come with a QR code. Where's the owner's manual? Oh, no owner's manual here. So, we're gonna have to look this up real quick, just to double check. I've never done it on the Ace. I'm not 100% certain. But the last thing we want to do is take a RTX 4090 and put it in half the bandwidth. I've done that once on a build already. I learned from my mistake. So yeah, we fixed it though, or somebody else fixed it for us, and then I had a conversation with them, and I was like, oh, did not know that somebody would be so stupid to not identify that or make it very, very noticeable that, hey, if you put an M.2 drive in one of your slots, it only gives half the bandwidth to your PCIe lane for your graphics card. Kind of dumb that that's not more noticeable in red asterisks. Like forgetting the shroud cover. Have I done that? Maybe I have done that. I do so many builds I don't even remember that kind of stuff anymore. Unless it was like very recent. Did I do that recently? I feel like if I forgot a shroud cover, I would have... Oh yes, I did. I did do it. Yep. I'm not going to bet money on it because I know I probably did it at some point. I don't know if it was recent though or not. All right. Nice, but I just want the manual. Is that too hard to ask for? I have to download it. English. Inglesho. So M.2-1 is your page 32 and 33 is where we want to go. So this is PCIe 5.0 X16 from the CPU. This one is PCIe 8 or PCIe 5 X8 from the CPU. And this is 4.0 from the Z790 chipset. So we definitely want the card up here. And we definitely want, let's see. It actually doesn't define it. It doesn't say if we fill any of these M.2 slots that it's going to compromise the bandwidth on the PCIe 16 slot, so at least it doesn't define it here. So maybe we're in the clear. No, you said it was a while ago? Oh yeah, it might have been. I don't remember. I'll might not be an issue on the higher end boards, maybe not, but it was a higher end board that this happened to, so just want to be sure. It says if your M.2 SSD is equipped with its own heatsink, then please remove it. M.2 4 will not be available when installing the PCIe 2 slot. And SATA 7 is unavailable when installing M.2 SATA SSD in the M.2 5 slot, which is fine. Both of those are fine. But it does not define that there is a bandwidth reduction. Aha! Here. PCIe slot 1. So this guy right here. Will run at X8 speed when installing a device in the PCIe 2 slot or M.2 4 slot. So M.2 4 or the PCIe 2 slot. So when this is plugged in, both of these run at 8x. Then when you plug a SSD into M.2 4, this goes to X8, which is half your bandwidth. That is shit. That needs to be more defined. Because that is bullshit. So really quick, I'm just going to probably cut this out eventually and throw it on YouTube. If you are building with a Z790 board, or really any 700 series board, this is probably the same thing, same case, be sure to check your motherboard manual on which M.2 slot will send your PCIe 1 slot to half the bandwidth, meaning X8, from X16 to X8. You want to double check that, because if you accidentally put an SSD into an M.2 slot, it will cut your bandwidth for your graphics card in half on your X16 slot from the CPU. So I highly recommend going to your motherboard's manual and double checking this. It will be in the PCIe expansion slots and or M.2 slots description. It should show it. But I found this one specifically on the Z790 MSI Ace under the PCIe description. just kind of showing the details there. So I highly recommend going in and looking at that in the manual before you install your SSDs onto the motherboard, or really anything. And I guess before you do any type of storage with the M.2 slots, just double check it, because that is sneaky and stupid that it's not really well defined, and I don't really hear anybody talking about that. I don't hear Linus talking about it. I don't hear Jace 2 Cents talking about it. I don't hear, and that's something people should know when they're building their PC, because that cuts your bandwidth in half on your graphics card. Hey, there's Max. So it says here the M.2 4 will trigger PCIe 1 at X8. And also, M.2 4 will not be available when you're using the PCIe 2. So, another thing to think of. So we're going to put a drive up here in the PCIe 1, should be. And they should be labeled on the board there if you don't know which one. This one doesn't have a very good... It says JP... Oh, that's for the RGB. Wait. Here's my cable for them. Be right there next to it. Oh well. I'm pretty sure that's... I could look at it here. Motherboard has it mapped out as well. Not sure if you can see it, but it has it pretty well mapped out on the motherboard manual, which you could reference, but this is M.2 1. Then we have M.2 2, M.2 3, and M.2 4 is way over here. And then we have M.2 5. There's a total of 5 M.2 ports on the board, and we're going to fill this one and the second one. We're going to fill M.2 1 and M.2 2. And therefore we are not filling out M.2 4, which would cut our bandwidth in half. Which is what we do not want to do. Nice job, Ben. I figured it out. Now if I could figure out how to open this Samsung box, that would be beneficial as well. Oh boy. When the guy building your PC struggles to open a box, you should be worried. We're going to put it there. We're going to put it there. Put it there. Put it there, pal. So I'm going to struggle with these peels. Like normal. I didn't struggle earlier, but now all of a sudden I've lost the ability to peel a peel. Completely. Like, my fingers have gone completely started. That was extra stupid. I should be a professional at this by now. But every time I get to a peel, I get really nervous. I know I'm going to screw it up somehow. Okay. M.2 2 terabyte Samsung 980 Pro going in. Then we have our heat spreaders, both bottom and top, with the thermal pads nice and neatly removed. And this one is actually going to cover up the hole, so I'm going to actually leave this off until we put it in the case. It covers up the hole again. I thought we've gone through this and resolved that. MSI. Oh, we did. There wasn't a problem before, and all of a sudden it is again. I'm getting better at the peels. We'll see when it comes to the graphics card how much better I am. Alright, so there we go. We got our two M.2 drives installed without interfering with our PCIe 16 bandwidth for our graphics card. We've successfully installed that, right? Alright, so there we go. We got our M.2 drives installed, we got our RAM installed, we got our CPU installed. Let's go ahead and work on... Let's see if we can get the mounting kit for the cooler on that CPU. I'm still here, Ben, just cleaning up after dinner. Nice. What'd you guys have for dinner? Or what did you have for dinner? I still haven't eaten dinner yet. So, tell me a story about food in great detail. I will enjoy it thoroughly. Hey Nora Smith, how's it going? Over on Kick. Sorry if I didn't notice your message right away. I've actually got two chats going up on the screen right now until I figure out how to, I don't even know if it's possible, merge Kick's chat with my other multi-stream chat. So it's got its own special chat, and I always forget to look over there. So I'm terrible at it. I'll admit it openly. How's everything going over there? Awesome. Going great? That's cool. Yep, we're just building out this PC. The MSI theme. Pretty high-end build. Right now I'm just installing the cooler mounting kit, so once we get it in the case, we could just basically from there throw everything together without having to deal with this mounting kit. Makes it a little easier when you do it outside of the case. Oh, you had spaghetti? I got swords over on Twitch. Spaghetti. Your mom's spaghetti? These weak arms are heavy. See where I'm going with that? No, spaghetti's like one of my favorite dinners, by the way. So, you hit the jackpot here. I'm sold. You got any leftover? Might have to come over. You stream games too? Honestly, I used to, and then the builds became just way more. I just had way more builds than I thought I was ever going to be doing, so this has been the primary focus. Although I've been trying to think about getting back into streaming more games, like really weird games, I guess, unpopular games. The games I play are PUBG, not as popular now, and then I play Beyond All Reality, or I'm sorry, Beyond All Reason, which is an old Total Annihilation remake, if you remember that RTS game back in the 90s. I used to play that religiously when I was a kid, and so it was kind of a nostalgic game. So I like playing that, and then I will play some Warzone every now and then. I actually just recently fired up my account. Papa Goose, who's another community member around here, he was asking for a player, and I was like, yeah, I'll jump on, but my account, none of my weapons are unlocked. So I started playing again, just to see if I can get anywhere with it. And it's pretty heart-wrenching when you're sitting there trying to play against people with completely unlocked weapons. It's kind of sad. So my Warzone account is really sad. Hope the right bracket's sitting on the cooler. Great. Yeah. I've been wanting to get back into streaming games. Hey, Papa Goose. Sorry I missed your message as well, but thank you for the compliment. Good place to plug Mern's channel. Oh, yeah. Wow, really? Really Eminem reference band? Yeah. Hey, what? I grew up with Eminem. Not really, but same city. No, not really. But I mean, yes, really. Detroit area. But I grew up listening to him. So Eminem is one of the greatest out there. Do I do giveaways by chance? Yes. Yes, we do. So we do what we call a $1 PC giveaway. The last one that we did was back in December of 2022. You'll see a bar at the bottom of the screen down there. Right. Can't twist my arm. Right there. The $1 PC giveaway. So all the revenue from the stream actually goes towards building the PC. So the more revenue we gain, the more we'll put into the PC. So everything we make off the stream goes towards it. And then we do random giveaways. Like right now, we're planning an H9 Flow giveaway, which is a NZXT case that's really hard to get. We have 4 of them sitting here that have literally been sitting in our inventory since the H9 Flow was released. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what we're going to do with these. They've been just sitting here taking up space, and nobody's asked us to build one in them. So we're going to just give them away. And the idea is to give away that. And also, if somebody wants us to build in it for them, we'll waive the build fees so that it's basically free build minus the hardware that you're buying for it. How do I get the $1 PC? You do have to be subscribed to the channel during the once we hit the $1 PC giveaway threshold, which is when that bar is filled up. Right there. So once we have that filled up, that means we have at least $1,200 or $1,400 for a build, and then we'll throw it all together, do a live build stream, and then do the actual giveaway process of choosing one of our subscribers for the $1 PC. Is usually how we do it. Already followed? Awesome. I know on Kick we don't have it unlocked so you could subscribe, but if you could subscribe on our Twitch channel. Awesome. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. That was actually just a few minutes ago. I'm not very good at, like, pulling those out. The notes. The notifications. But all right, so we've got our mounting kit good to go here. So let's go ahead and get the case out, and then we're going to slap this board into the MSI case. Yeah, we do a lot of build streams. If you haven't already looked at the website, we do a lot of custom builds, and we have a couple of quite a few pre-build options as well. So if you're not interested in like a custom build and you want something that's already pre-selected, we only build with quality parts here, so you know you're getting a quality build from us. And we also do all the builds live on stream, most of them anyway. How much do we Twitch charge for subs? I think they're like, you mean charge us? I think they take almost 50%, so it's kind of, I'm trying to build up kicks so we can get that 95.5. That way more money goes towards the $1 PC. But I get what you're saying there. It's just, you have to have, I think, 70, what is it? I don't even know. I don't remember the metrics there. Maybe Scotty over on Twitch knows. But the kick requirements for having subs enabled or unlocked or whatever, I'm pretty sure it's like 70 followers or something like that. This is a weird number. Or 100 followers. I don't remember. Anyway, it's once we get that unlocked, it'll help out. We just need more followers. This case is massive, by the way. This giveaway without sub, I will give you a shout out on Twitter. Well, the subs are what pay for the giveaway, so it's kind of like a community thing. So anybody who's investing in the sub has the opportunity to win the PC. So that's why we do it that way. So it's just a community pot, really, is what it turns into. And the more subs we have, the more PCs we can give away. I'm not like a super uber huge business where I can just fork out thousands of dollars every week or month to give away PCs. So, crowdsourced, it's fun, everybody enjoys it. Well, that's sick. Yeah, this is the MSI, what is it, Prestige, or no, Prospect, sorry. MSI Prospect 700. So, it's a huge case, if you haven't already noticed. Gotta get this up. Then we gotta take this glass off. Here, back. And then we have a box inside of a box. Why not? Then we're gonna get the back panel off. This thing has a screen built into it, which is super awesome. Release! Thank you. Back panel off. And you can see cable management is superb in here. It'll be super clean once we get done with this. I'm over here too. 75. Nice. So I got source confirmed there was 75 followers that we need on the Kick channel in order to unlock the subs. So I think we're at like 18 or something like that. Okay, so we've got our studs already in place, it looks like, all in the right places. So we should be able to just drop this board in here. I do need to get the hardware kit out, the case, get the screws. which are in one of these boxes. This case also includes a vertical mount, which is also awesome. Saves you money, although the case itself is very expensive. On the more expensive side. I thought the hardware kit was in. Boy, am I wrong. It's in this one. Box that was inside the box. Hey, Adam. Nice. And here is our vertical kit that we need. Where's our vertical cable? Don't see it. Ruh-roh, Raggy. This was supposed to, a vertical cable. If not, I have one here, but it just kind of sucks. Supposed to have. Well, shucks. Let's get the motherboard mounted so I don't forget to do that real quick before I start flipping that around. I'm only here because I'm not a mod on Kick. Oh. Are you sure? I got swords. I'm pretty sure I made you a mod at some point. Yeah, you're a moderator. What are you talking about? This guy. I've got all my chat windows messed up. Says he's not a moderator over on Kick, and he is. You're a liar. Haha. Gotcha. We got a ton of screws to screw in here. When did that happen? I don't know, man. I just do things. You guys should know this by now. I drink and I know things. That's what I'm good at. And then I do things. Like that. What is that from? Lannister always pays his debts. There's another hint. Do you remember? He's about maybe 4 foot tall, has blonde hair, about to his ears / shoulder. I guess ears. Really. What happened to my SSD cover? Well, Bradley, let's go ahead and talk about that. MSI decides that they are not going to tool a hole in the SSD cover that goes and covers up this hole. So after I mounted the board, which I literally just finished, of course, I was going to put the SSD cover back on because it covers up this mounting hole. Right here. Literally just finished. Of course, you come in freaking out. Where's my cover? Actually, I was going to keep it. I wasn't going to give it back to you. I was going to keep it for myself. But it is kind of a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. But it covers up the mounting hole. So how am I to mount a screw with the cover on? MSI, we had this fixed 1 generation ago. What happened? That's right, I remember seeing that. Wait, how did I not see that? See what? Must be Facebook. And that quote, Scotty, if you're still sitting there wondering, it's from Game of Thrones. Lannister. The Lannister quote by Tyrion or whatever his name is. Comment. Oh gosh. Well, there's a comment on Facebook now too. You're just all over the place. Oh, I knew it! No, that's Bradley. Oh, I see what you're saying about the comment. That's Bradley. He's the owner of the PC, actually, over on YouTube. I'm streaming to YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Kick, and I think there's a stream going directly to Twitter. I'm all over the place. I'm everywhere. Guess that's what happens. The only thing I can't do is get my Kick chat to show up in the same spot as everybody else's chat, so I have 2 different chats. I have all the other platforms in one chat, and then I have a Kick chat special for Kick. I can't watch 3 different chats. That's alright. I don't think I have a moderator over... I don't have you set as a moderator. I don't think over on YouTube or Facebook. I'm cool like that. I just... Those 2 platforms are probably the weakest platforms for me. Although YouTube is kind of growing. I've got a lot of subs over there. And I don't really know why. Like, it's just kind of growing on its own without me doing much. I know how to pop out Facebook chat. Grr. I don't either. Honestly, I hate watching streams on Facebook. I only do it because a lot of customers have Facebook, and they want to watch their build on the Facebook stream because they already have it. They don't want to, like, um, if it's like a parent for a build that I'm doing for their kid, then they want to pull it up, but they don't want to go like make a Kick or a Twitch account, you know. So I guess if I have YouTube, now it's over on YouTube. Nice. But anyway, we got the board mounted. We are missing a PCIe cable in this kit. I thought it came with it, but maybe I was wrong, and I don't see it anywhere. So, oh, we do have to remove that too. So, we'll have to use one of them that I have here. Thankfully, I have two, or a couple of them here. No, I have two for sure. Gotta remove this side panel. Forgot about. Hopefully the motherboard's not the way to get it out. Release the Kraken. Definitely loose. Loosey-goosey. So what is the big idea? Does this whole frame have to come out for me to take that out? That is silly. Thanks, I wish I could have done a better build. Also, you know what? I don't think there's much better you can go, bud. Unless you want, like, open loop, but some people don't think that's better because it's more work. Meaning more maintenance. Come on. Let go. Jeez. Okay. We're okay. Oh. Now, this top piece needs to come out so that we can get to the radiator mount. Mounting that on the top. And before we put the radiator up there, we want to get all our cables plugged in up here the best we can, because once that radiator's up there, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get up there. So I'm going to try to get all that plugged in, or at least as much of it as I can plugged in. Our CPU EPS is here on the board, which is different than pretty much any other motherboard we've built with. Okay, now I have all 4 up, but I can't text in Facebook chat because it makes the other chat windows go behind the browser. Nice. Thanks. I think that was the sarcasm. Better like how? We're gonna pop this power supply open so we can get the EPS cables out. And we may as well do the motherboard too. EPS! What art thou? GPU. KE. This thing has so many PCIe cables. Kind of ridiculous. And we could go send this on its merry way over here. Go. Okay, so we got our 2 EPS cables in, which we wanted to do before we put that radiator in, because if we put that radiator in and then try to do those EPS cables, it would be me cussing for a half an hour and then ending up taking the radiator back out. So, saved y'all a rewind. So next I'm going to do some of these power and case while we're before we do the radiator. We do have a 6-pin PCIe connection that supplies power to the PCIe lanes, I believe. PD power, what it's labeled. I don't remember exactly what that's. So we're going to use a PCIe 6-pin power that. Since we'll have plenty of PCIe cables. And then we'll get the motherboard connections rolling. I mean case I/O, such as our USB 3.0, front panel audio, power cable, those types of things, all need to be plugged in. This is probably our screen USB 2.0 connection. go. And we've got USB-C and USB 3.0. Motherboard temperature, it looks like that we need to get somewhere behind the motherboard. A PWM fan connection. Addressable RGB. Where's fan 1? Fan 1 is up here at the top. And then addressable RGB. I'm gonna go ahead and put that up here at the top as well. We're going, you know what? V1 is actually on the bottom, so let's go to V1. Ow. And then our power connector. Power button. Where is it? Where's our power switch? HD audio and power switch. Both our power switch and reset switch is plugged in. Front panel audio. HD audio. Got that plugged in. There we go. That's all done. Nice. Could have bought a nuclear reactor to put in there. Come on. You don't want to do overkill. What, so instead of draining the city of power, you'd be powering the city? One of these days, I'm going to take a weekend and go up there and help them. Like I said, the office new dress code is a suit. We'll have to get you a suit. No, it's I'm joking. It's not a policy at all. I'm just wearing a suit. All right, so we've got a bunch of cables plugged in. It looks cool. We just need to do the AIO. So let's go ahead and stand this bad boy up. And then we do need the bracket installed as well. which, Bradley, this did not come with a PCIe 4.0 cable. You have one here. So, hoping this will fit it. Good. Why wouldn't? So we'll play around with that. Be sure it goes like over here. Interesting. We'll play around with it when we get to that. I've got more than one, so help yourself. I need a Coke. You think you need a Coke? No, thanks. Going to bed too. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that radiator out. Gonna be mounted like this, so we want the cables on that side. Quarter fans. By the way, Bradley, we are going to be posting this one and tagging the shit out of MSI. Like, hey, we used all of your products. Quite literally. These fans feel super nice. Like, they just feel quality all over them. So that is impressive. Good feel to the fans. Nobody say anything. Nobody say anything. Sometimes I'm special. I just wanted you to watch this over again of how special it is. I was also checking to see if anybody was paying attention there. Apparently nobody is paying attention. I will say all the things. Well, that was an oopsie. That's all. Sure, you were. Yeah, well, you know, gotta try something. There we go. Corrected. And installed. The fans, at least. Hope there's nothing else I have to do to this thing. Didn't really look. But I'm just kind of a wing it type of guy. Just want to make Bradley nervous. We are throwing this thing together. Oh. It's a tight fit. few more screws, ladies and gentlemen. We do have another radiator for this build. Gonna wipe this pre-applied thermal paste off because we've got our Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut to put on there. Not that that thermal paste was probably bad. This Cryonaut by Thermal Grizzly is so much better. It'll last way longer. Thermal Grizzly. Not a ton of paste in that small tube. So do not mess that up. Now, what I don't recall is the direction that these want to go. Pretty sure we want it something like that. Right? Or is it up, down? No, it's definitely like that because of the logo. Let's hope I'm right. Nothing on the bottom. And then we need that mounting kit. Next piece of it anyway, opened up. I'm only doing this to get it leveled out, started. Okay, I'm back over here now. Well, welcome back to the Twitch side. Feeling kind of twitchy myself, actually. Might not because of the... Can't be because of the Coke. Coca-Cola, of course. That's one thing I really didn't think of very well here is the fact that this pump Our block has a crap ton of cables coming off of it. We are probably going to run it down in a way this way instead of up and over, because I don't see myself getting those cables. I don't know. Maybe we can. I'll try to do it. I would prefer it go up and over. But it's such a nightmare mess already over there. And we have a pump. GPU fan. So why would they give me a fan splitter, but then give me a fan splitter? That is... has to be the pump. Where's my pump? Got fan 1 there. Let's see my pump header. Yeah, it's right here. The pump's all the way over here. That's kind of dumb, my opinion. Alright, so we're going to have to stand this up to deal it. To make this work, I got to stick my fingers in some weird places. This is just one cable, mind you. I would much rather see these cables up through the top here. That is the ideal situation. If we're going to actually make that happen, I don't know. Come on. I can feel it. Right there. One cable through. And that is why we try to get as much cables through the top in the beginning before we put the radiator in. Crap. This is the more important one to be up there anyway. It's the pump header that needs to travel over here to the pump header. We're making it work. I want those cables there. Now these ones I'm going to run down south. Then we'll need some zip ties there. There we go. Fancy. Can't even tell there's a cable there. Gotta hop off. It's all good, man. You have a good rest of your evening too, man. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. There we go. We get our AIO installed for the CPU. Now let's go ahead and tackle that graphics card. That is going to be an interesting one. Pretty sure all of those have to come out. Yep. Pretty sure this thing has to come out. Or it has to move. It has to move that way. Just readjusting the PCIe riser bracket. Vertical bracket that we have here. It was set up for two card that only uses 2 slots, and I'm pretty sure this uses 3. It only uses 2. But I'll just move it anyway since I'm already here. Or do I want to keep it? It'll pull it away from the board further. We'll keep it. Dang it! Should have looked. I just built with a Suprim X and it was like... I prefer the rad and the on the top. I would rather take that heat, send it out of the rig. That really the only thing that the case has to do is get rid of the GPU heat. But it significantly makes a difference in my opinion, because you don't have that CPU heat being dumped into the case. And for this build, we also have a Liquid X MSI Suprim X 4090, MSI RTX 4090 Suprim Liquid X. So it's got a 200 a radiator for it as well. And thanks, Ryan. Thanks for the like over on Facebook. So that's my preference with the radiator, is just putting it on top. That's how we have this one actually set up right now. Oh dang, Big Daddy unit. Yeah, this build is just basically all MSI'd out. Minus, you know, like the storage and the RAM. And then we're going to be doing a vertical mount here with the GPU. If I remember correctly, this has to go on. So we're just getting that ready. Total cost of this build, if you're allowed to say, I honestly did not buy all the components. The local customer here, Bradley over on YouTube, who's following or watching the build right now live on YouTube, he ended up buying all the parts and then bringing them here for the build. And then I think it was like $100 is our build fee. So the graphics card alone is like $1,700 at MSRP, or $1,800, $1,799.99 plus tax. So to give you an idea, this is probably north of 4,000-ish, maybe 5, in that range. Even if you bought all the parts yourself and then just paid somebody to do it, or just built it yourself, you know, parts alone are probably going to be closer to 4,500-ish. in that range at minimum. This case alone's like almost $500. So you got a $500 case, you got a like, what is it, $600 or $700 CPU. Then you got close to $500 in RAM here, and easily $400 in SSDs or close to it. The cooler is probably another $250, $300. The graphics card is easily 18 plus stacks. Yeah, it's around, I'd say 5K in that range, ballpark. Motherboard, it's the MSI Ace, so that's a $700 board, $600 board, somewhere in that range. It's not a cheap build, definitely not. It is a high-end build with a lot of quality components here. So I'm actually getting ready to mount this graphics card we were just talking about. Gotta get this bad boy out. Are you looking to do a build? Sorry, I wiggled the camera. Hopefully it doesn't fall over again. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, my club. Yeah? Oh, Nana. Yeah. We got our AIO graphics card. Which is the RTX 4090 Suprim Liquid X by MSI. But AIO is going to slip anyway. Nothing I can do about it. I thought this one through. Well, Red, you looking to do a build around here? Or need help picking some parts out? Alright, so we got the card mounted to the PCIe bracket. Got our PCIe riser cable in there. Now, what we want to do is get... I'm probably going to install the card and then flip it over, reach in, and mount the radiator. But before I do that, I'm going to decide on the fans. If I set these up as exhaust, it's going to suck all the front air in the front right out of the system. But if I set it up as I think I'm gonna I think I'll leave it. But I will probably try to do with this. Maybe get us bells down. Like that. Because I would rather have those down than up. Now this will be an interesting dance that we're going to be playing here. But we are committed as soon as we plug that in. Oh, very nice. Okay, thank you. Mommy? Okay. Can you bring this back to Mama? Interesting. Bring it back to Mama. Here, I'll show you, give you a sample of what it's going to look like with it vertical mounted. Wish MSI would think of their MSI products a little bit more, and I'm glad I didn't put it on the inside like I was thinking about, because these AIO tubes are getting in the way. We are going to have to flip this around and go down, but here, let me try to give you an example of what it's going to look like. I don't have that AIO radiator actually installed yet, so but it's kind of running into this AIO cover here, the screen, which is what I was talking about. Like, they didn't really think that through very well. I don't really want to bend these tubes very much at all, more than where they are right now, and I haven't really bent them. That's just the way it's just naturally going, like doing that right now. And then the other problem we have here is USB 3 getting in the way. See what we could do about that. I'll have to come get unplugged actually here temporarily. I'll have to come back to it. So, my plan is for this thing is to get spun around, lay it down, like so. Then we want to, kind of like what you and I were talking about, get this centered up as we can, but I think we want to make this, I guess we can center it up right about there. We just need that bracket. Put that on. I want to zip tie this actually. It'll be easier to do it right now than later. What's wrong, Chloe? Alright, so now we got the rail back on. We had to remove that earlier so that we could move the plate that was there. And we're going to try to mount this radiator in here, if it's possible. That is just dumb. It fits. The downside is that the MSI front fans are now bumping into it. You would have thought you could fit a radiator here, or what one would think they'd be able to. tight. See what we can do here. Might have to go to the front with this. Would like to avoid doing that. Struggle busing. I need to pull this off the ledge so I can get my hand up in here. Pretty sure we're gonna have to lower this. Okay, radiator is almost in. Finally. See what it looks like. We fought with it for so long. Doesn't look bad. Pretty centered. Really the biggest problem there with it fitting, it would have fit beautifully, but we had cables in between here. And I could see that that's kind of what was resisting a little bit. But alright. Resolved now at this point. Now, GPU's installed. A lot more work than your traditional non-Liquid X GPU, but it's okay. Let this one out. But this was 5.0 already. That's not working. My PCIe 5.0 cable. The big fat one you're holding, you idiot. Trying not to like crap out of this wire. Alright, so there we go. Power for the GPU is in. We lost one of our little guards here. Apparently this just clips on. So it just fell right off. There we go. Now, we just need some SATA connections on the power supply. We need the power supply slid in from the back door. Then we do some cable management in the back. Then we'll be ready to go. Oh, I'm actually going to deal with some of these cables right now because there's a significant amount of them. Oh shit, don't tell me that's a USB. I forgot to plug this in. Yeah, I got it all plugged in. Big deal. Only behind the graphics card. Not like that's the end of the world or anything. Maybe we can utilize our handy dandy surgical pliers for this situation. There we go. We got it. Without having to pull the graphics card out. We just lost another CPU thing. It is so dumb how they just fall right off. They slide into a slot, but they just bounce right up. Sorry, MSI, but that was dumb. Okay, so let's cable manage this up a little bit. Got 3 queues that need to go south. What the? Aren't there holes in the bottom of the GPU mount to secure the case? It is already screwed in, yes. It's a little thumb screw. I reached in there and screwed it in. Just one screw. So there's just the 3 screws on the side and then the 1 screw at the bottom. That's the only thing that holds the mount to the case itself. If you screwed it in the way you are imagining because of the holes on it, then you would never be able to get that GPU out of there with the mount if you ever had to. You don't want to do that. I know what you're thinking, because there's holes on it, but that's actually to move it from a 2-pin to a 3, or a 2-slot to a 3-slot card, which I thought we had to do, but we didn't. Cable lengths are not the greatest here for this modular power supply. Pretty clean, what you say? Oh. I have some of the cables here at the top that we have to deal with, but for the most part it's done. Got to get the power supply in there, which is also going to be a nightmare because of the shroud that they have on the back side and front side. So if you're ever looking to purchase one of those fancy new power supplies with the whole side connection thing, like Corsair has, won't work in this case, FYI. There's a riveted panel right there that all I can tell you that is dumbass design. I literally cannot put my hand in the power supply bay. This is the nightmare that I'm going to be talking about. Trying to get my hands in here, plug the power supply in, while feeding it from the back, with absolutely nowhere for my hands to get in there. It's a dumb design. The only other way I could have done it is power supply cables first, then plug them all in. Maybe I should have done that. But that's not my build style. But what's the point of having a modular power supply if you can't even access it? I'm going to put a couple of these peripherals on there for you, because it is going to be such a pain. Also, we are out of USB ports, so we cannot plug the GI in. USB power supply. No bueno. Got the motherboard on the top, CPU next to it. Once again, MSI product, not fluid with an MSI product. Haven't even gotten to the motherboard yet. That's so fucking stupid. Might be able to get it from the front. Hope I can. I can get the CPU. Literally everything but the motherboard. Black. Yeah, I could have done this differently, but I don't know if you can actually see what I have to do here to make this work. But it's because I routed the cables first, which is what you should be able to do with a modular cable power supply. Okay. I think I know what just happened. The HD audio cable got snagged by the power supply when it fell in, and it ripped it right out, which is in the bottom left corner of the GPU. So GPU has to come out. Yep, exactly what I thought happened. Why? Why is that even a thing? You mean the power supply? Fuck that. Literally, the only hole there for HD audio can't be ran because the power supply pushes it out of the way. There's literally no space for it there. MSI, I really think a dumbass put this case together. This is like second or third time I built it. Last couple times weren't as bad. I think I caught these. But if I were to rate this case building in it, it was great right up until the power supply. And the AIO clearance for the front. Be my only two things that I'd be complaining about. Outside of those couple of things, it's an amazing case. Do a new YouTube review. For the amount of money you spend on this case, I should not, absolutely not have to deal with the shit that I just dealt with. There we go. Let's see here. Hey Bradley, it's not your fault. No, you're making it easy on me. You are not the problem, sir. This is MSI. This is MSI. Whoever designed this power supply chamber on this case, like I was complaining about earlier before we even got to installing the power supply, was an idiot. It's not your fault, man. Aren't there holes in the bottle? Or wait. Yeah, that's one of the only two slots, 4090s right now. Yeah. That's some nice looking cable management. Thank you. Let's see. Old Red. Do you use certain brand of harnesses? I was a fan of the Corsair Premium. I used, and also some Asia Horse to harness. Are you talking about, like, what do you mean by harness? The Asia Horse was just tough to route. What do you mean by the harness, Old Red? Hey, Mr. Duck. You joined me right at my rant. Joined us on my rant. This is a Dear MSI moment. Don't be stupid. The amount of money you spend on these cases, or this case, you should not have to deal with that kind of engineering. But if we look here, right here, you see this hole? This hole is for your HD audio. Now, if I stick a cable in there, the power supply literally grabs the back of it when you push it in and just yanks your HD audio right out. All they would have had to do is maybe make the case slightly taller, slightly, by millimeters or less, and make a cutout right here that goes above the power supply, or make the case slightly wider, just a little bit, so that you can flip your cables in where they need to be without the power supply getting in the way. I don't know. That was easy. MSI should hire me so I could talk them through stupid shit like this. So instead, I had to route the HD audio here for a port that's here on a $500 case, because the power supply snags it and then doesn't let it fit. Not to mention the whole shroud situation here in the first place. Shouldn't be a thing in a $500 case. I get, you know, cable management, you want it to look pretty, but this isn't pretty to build in. This would not be a good experience for a first-time builder, period. I'm not complaining with you, Bradley, not at all. This is totally an MSI engineering design flaw. And I just complain about shit like that when I run into it. Especially when people spend the amount of money that they do on this. Not have to be like that. And right now there's like zero space for any extra cables. And I wanted to make sure I gave you peripheral cables because it's going to be nearly impossible to take this power supply back out without finagling it for 2.5 days. So that is why I am doing it, throwing these extra cables in here with a modular power supply. If you ever added anything to the system like storage, you have the cables here without having to take the power supply out. Because modular power supply with a shroud that covers the modular area of the power supply was a grand idea by MSI. And it's all in their Meg series products, so it's not like, you know, hey, let's put it all together to make a Meg build or an MEG build. Like, nobody in your engineering room thought of this? I would seriously like to know their thoughts as to why they did it the way they did it. Okay. Need a zip tie up here and we're golden. Ah, crap. I'm just mad because people spend money on this case and then have to go through that. That's what I'm mad about. If you're buying a quality case, you should have a quality experience. All right, so there's the cable management final. Is it looking crisp? Did you manage to hook everything up? The power supply? Yes, everything got hooked up. Just, it was a nightmare to hook it up. Oh, I gotcha. So the old mechanic word harness, got it. So the cables you used are probably power supply extensions, old red. But they would be, I guess the correct terminology is power supply extension. So you've got sleeved extensions probably. those are a little bit difficult to work with because they're not as flexible, or they're too flexible. And then when you start getting any type of bends on them, they like to pull away and do some weird stuff. These are actually cables that came with the power supply that are sleeved with a higher end power supply. The most higher end power supplies will come with a fancy sleeved cable kit for the power supply. So some of them don't. Some of them still come with like the plastic rubbery cables. But that's our cable management today. And that's what that is, the harness that you're talking about. So it's a mixture of EPS, 2 EPS cables, 1 24-pin cable for the motherboard. The EPS cables are for the CPU. Then we have a 6-pin PCIe cable for additional power to the PCIe lanes. And then we have SATA and Molex cables down here, which are more so for storage or for hubs, which we have a couple of them. One power connection was for the screen that's on this case, and the other one was for the hub, on fan hub over there, which powers the addressable RGB and the fans, so that's not all being drawn from the motherboard header. It makes it so you could connect more on a hub than you would be able to connect just on a single header on the motherboard. But overall, we're done with this build. I think we just need to put some panels on, clean up, fire it up, make sure it works, and also put this back on the bottom of the block. All right, clean it up and fire it up. Not that you need the dust filter on the top. I would actually recommend removing that for exhaust, but I'll put it back on there for travel purposes. All it does is restrict airflow for exhaust, and you're not filtering exhaust air, filtering intake. We're not going to put the glass on because there's too much reflection. Why I'm not doing that. was ready to see this thing powered on. After I spent some time cussing out MSI about the case. Sorry. But I am seriously going to do a quick video on that. At least give people a heads up when they're building in here. They need to follow a very specific way, or they're going to struggle like I did. All about the build experience. Okay. Let's send us over to the side cam here. And I'll adjust the camera. There we go. Y'all ready for this? Let's see if I built it right. That's where I preferred the Corsair Premium, so that makes sense. Gotcha. Yeah, it's a little bit nicer. So, here we go, Bradley. We're going to push the power button and see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the MSI beast that's doing some RAM training. Totally expected. Going through and doing its RAM test or RAM training. So it'll post, hopefully. Complaining about VGA right now. You know, it's plugged in by power. see. Well, makes sense to actually plug the monitor in. That would make sense. I'm pretty sure I had that plugged in, though. Didn't I? Needs more RAM. Didn't realize that thing had a screen on the case. Yeah, it has a screen on the case and a screen on the cooler itself. So there's definitely screens all over the place on this thing. We got the post. So we're all posted up. We got our Intel 13th gen i9 posted up here with our MEG Z790 Ace motherboard and 98,304 megabytes of RAM, 98 gigabytes. So we're posted up. I'm just an idiot and forgot to plug the HDMI cable in. Or when I moved the PC, for some reason it popped out because it's pretty well worn from being plugged and unplugged and plugged and unplugged into millions of PCs that I built. Oops. So our screen's working. Now it's a little blurry, but everything's working. Thinking about that GPU radiator, though. I still am thinking about that. It's right now exhausting. So it's taking there and sending it right out. I need to make sure enough cool air is getting by here to get up to the top radiator. Pretty sure there should be enough. So I'll spin it up and we'll find out. We'll find out what it's going to do. But I might end up having to spin those fans around. Worst case scenario. But ladies and gentlemen, the MSI build is complete. We have battle testing and Windows OS installation to do. Looking forward to having this thing ready to go tomorrow for pickup. Thanks for joining us on today's build stream. Look forward to the next build stream. We do have possibly another build here coming up to do. So, looking forward to it. Let me know if anybody has any questions. Feel free to hit us up on any of the social channels or email us or call us or text us. Text me. Thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night. Keep building.